What is up, guys? Welcome to the ThinkComputers Weekly Tech Podcast. This is episode 465, and our podcast is brought to you by Amazon. If you go to thinkcomputers.org/Amazon and happen to purchase something that helps us out and keeps the podcast ongoing, with me, of course, is my co-host, Ryan. What's going on?
Not much. I'm excited to talk about, we always talk about like new tech or stuff that we got at the end. So I don't want to spoil it, but like if I look faster or more smooth or less latent, well, let me know.
Watch like Ryan, like, and everybody sees Ryan's all pixelated. He's like not even, you'll understand when we talk about it after, but
yep.
But yeah, hopefully Ryan's internet's a little bit better. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't
think
it's
been nothing that's been bad, but
yeah, there's only been a couple times where you've had some internet issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But we have a lot to talk about this week. I took a look at a really fast Gen 5 NVMe SSD. NVIDIA is like keeping Intel alive, it seems. So we'll be talking about that. Really, really cool retro PC case. Another one from SilverStone. Somebody ordered an RTX 5080 and got a brick instead, which is
not a bricked card.
Yeah, no, they actually got a actual brick. And somebody actually modded an original 3DFX Voodoo graphics card. So we'll be talking about that and a few other things that we have in there as well. Now, if you guys do want to follow along, we have our full show notes page right here that has everything that we're going to be talking about, as well as links and all of that. So it's just all right here. You can follow along, or if you hear us talk about something and then like the next day you want to reference it, it's just all right here. So yeah, what are you doing?
Got a gray hair that's just like catching the light.
Oh yeah, just like grays are finally coming in for you, huh?
Oh no, dude, I've had them forever. They're on the sides. Okay. They're not like super.
That's just like
this one's just like hitting.
Yeah, I feel like pretty lucky because like I'm blonde, so like it hides the grays, but they're there. But you have to really, really look for them. So
yeah, mine are there for sure.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing about having dark hair like you is like when the grays come in, you can definitely see them. So you'll be like, what do they call that? You'll be like salt and pepper. Yeah, right. Salt and pepper hair. So yeah, we'll start out with the crucial T710, which is I think I'm almost pretty sure this is their latest Gen 5 NVMe SSD. And I want to preface this review on saying that when Gen 5 drives came out, being that I'm like an NVMe guy, super, super excited, but they needed to be actively cooled. And like, if you're running multiple Gen 5 drives with like those tiny little, how big were those fans? Like,
I mean, they've got to be like 20 millimeters.
Yeah, like tiny little fans. And when that spins up, it was decently loud. So keeping Gen 5 drives thermally controlled was quite hard in the beginning. Well, now we're past that. So this drive doesn't have any thermal throttling issues. You can actually cool it with a normal M.2 heatsink on your actual motherboard. I have the version that doesn't come with a heatsink, but they also do have a heatsink version. And that heatsink's small. Crucial, we reviewed their T705, which was the previous drive, and it had like a big beefy heatsink. And even with the big like beefy heatsink, you had to put a fan over it, or it's still with thermally throttle. No issues with this drive when it comes to thermally throttling, which is really, really good. So this drive is based on the Silicon Motion SM2508, and it's using the Micron 276-layer 3D TLC NAND. Has DRAM cache on there as well. Rated speeds are 14,500 megabytes a second read and 13,800 megabytes a second write. So very, very fast. And if we look at some of our results, let's go down to our results, click the wrong page. If we go to the results, we can see it is quite fast. So, looking at our read here, 13,000 or 13.85 gigabytes a second on the read and 12.47 gigabytes a second on the write there. And we look at AutoDisk benchmark, you can see we're quite high, 12 and 13 gigabytes a second there. So very, very fast in most of our testing. Crystal Disk Mark, you can see right up to spec. no issues, no thermal throttling. It was just a really good Gen 5 experience, which is like I haven't really had, because every drive has had to have some type of crazy cooling to get it to work, or like multiple like firmware updates to like get it to up to speed, or just something. And this was like it's just like a Gen 4 drive. It was just like you just put
it just works now.
Yeah, just plug it in. Like we're at sort of like the Gen 2 of Gen 5 drives, where now we have the controllers that run a little bit cooler. You don't run into any of the thermal throttling issues or any other weird issues with Gen 5. So it's matured now, which is good. And this drive is relatively affordable too. And if you look at it, the 2 terabyte is $200.
Yeah, no, that seems good
for a Gen 5 drive.
Even better value.
You can get it, and you can get a 4 terabyte for $374.87. Yeah, so I really like this drive. I gave it a 9 out of 10 in our editor's choice. The only reason, like, why don't we have an 8 terabyte? Like, give me the 8 terabyte.
I know. So nice. There's so many applications for a bigger drive there. Yeah,
I just want the 8 terabyte. But really, really good performance. I didn't mention too, if we go back, it is a single-sided drive as well. So if you did have limitations, as if you were putting this in like a laptop or something, but yeah, single-sided. So the back is just a sticker and all of that. But yeah, probably the best Gen 5 drive that I've reviewed. I just worked. No issues, no weird things with it. Just worked. So yeah, so shout out to Crucial for that. Definitely check out the review. And like I said, 2 terabytes for $200 for a Gen 5 is awesome.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a very solid drive overall. Now, I sent this, so we're gonna move on to Case Mod Friday, and I sent this to Ryan. He was not the biggest fan. I think, if anything, you should like watch the video. There's just so much work that went into this build.
And don't get me wrong, like it's impressive. It's just not my style.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, this is not for everybody, but I love. So when I go find case mods and stuff like that, sometimes I can just find pictures, and there are people that do have videos, and shout out to them. But it's cool to see the build come together, right? To see the building process and what all went into it. And with this build, there is a video. I urge everybody to watch the video. I have it in the article. So this is Wally, and this is from Billet Labs. And we have featured a handful, or like 2 of their other builds before. They also did a really compact water-cooled build with a 5090 and a 14900K in like, I don't know how many liter, maybe it was a 12-liter case or something. I mean, it was one of the smallest. To put those 2 super hot things together and be able to cool it. Yeah, so this one is a wall-mounted PC, obviously with this sort of steampunky, true copper water cooling setup. Yep. And it just, like I said, it looks super, super cool. As we go through it here, all custom parts for this, for the most part. And the whole thing, I watched the entire video, which again is in the article, but they didn't want it to look like a gaming PC, right? Like they wanted it to be pretty much like covered. You know, you can see a little bit of the like motherboard, but they wanted it to be covered, and they wanted it to not look necessarily like a PC, you know what I mean? And it has all of these gauges aren't just there for show either. They all work.
They're active, yeah.
So like there's a temperature gauge, there's a couple other gauges in here, you know, that do different things, but super, super cool. They ordered this really interesting radiator too. I forget the size of the radiator, but it's not a normal size radiator.
It's really thick. That reservoir is kind of cool. Like, this thing's got to be so heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, like a regular water-cooled setup is heavy, but this is all metal components, so there's got to be some heft to this thing.
Yeah. But yeah, watch the video, because it's just it really is like the amount of time. I'm just like thinking to myself, like, man, you had to really want to build this, because there was just a lot that went into it. Like I said, we do have the video in here, going through everything and the way that that he built it and everything like that. It does have a Ryzen 9 9950X and a 3090. So if you don't know, it's kind of hard to tell in the picture.
Yeah, because everything's covered up.
Yeah, but like this right here is the graphics card. So very hard to see, but there's the ribbon cable, the riser right there that goes into the graphics card. But yeah, isn't that cool?
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, this would be cool. Like, and this is in his office / workshop. So this would be a cool thing to like walk into somebody's office and see it up on the wall.
Yeah,
it definitely really, really cool. So shout out to Billet Labs for this one. Like I said, watch the video. It's really interesting and really cool to see how he designed this, built everything by hand. Just awesome. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out. Also, it has been a while since we've had a contest. We haven't given anything away, which I don't know why we haven't been doing that, to be honest. So we teamed up with our friends over at Valkyrie, and we're giving away not one, but two of their Jarn 360 liquid CPU coolers. So that's this right here. Super easy to enter. We launched it this morning. We already have 867 entries. So get your entry in. 18 different ways to enter. There's actually going to be 19 because I have to add something in there. But you can have up to 19 entries in here. And yeah, shout out to Valkyrie for hooking us up. It is US only. So let's preface that, but it is US only just because of shipping reasons. But we will have an international contest coming up soon as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. But this one, you're more likely to win because we have two prizes, not just one. We're giving away two of the coolers. So yeah, get your entry in. Super easy. And this one's going to run for a month. So you have a lot of time to get your entry in, but just get it all in and you'll be good there. And we'll move on to probably one of the bigger tech stories in a while, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. It's huge.
So NVIDIA invested $5 billion into Intel. Yeah. Keep it Intel staying alive somehow.
This is quite the infusion.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a big infusion of cash.
But they're not just giving them cash to keep making CPUs, right?
Correct. Yeah, they'll be sharing a lot of tech. What do you think of this? Like, what do you think?
Okay, I mean, what they're from what I've read, and what we're gonna see is Intel CPUs coming out with integrated NVIDIA graphics on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just Intel integrated graphics. So now you've got these all-in-one CPUs with integrated graphics that are probably going to blow the Intel integrated graphics out of the water, right? But I think you'll still have a stepping stone for those Intel integrated. But anyways, so that's something to think about there. What do I think about this? It's kind of wild that this was even like, I say allowed to happen, but it's not like they're buying Intel or becoming one company. So there's no
do you think so? NVIDIA has been trying to make a desktop chip, right? They've been working with ARM and it hasn't come out yet, right?
Sure.
Intel has been trying to make graphics cards, right? We've seen the ARC cards and and again,
they've been fine.
So
price and expectation, I think.
So maybe they just they're like, okay, well, let's just stop wasting money trying to do these things and come together. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there's a lot going on, especially with this Intel, right? It's not just NVIDIA that's been pumping money into them. The U.S. government put a large chunk of money in as well.
Well, that's the thing you have to think of as well. Like, not to get too political, but
right. Yeah.
So the U.S. government made a how much? That was even more.
10%. It was like
10% investment into Intel, and then NVIDIA's been working very closely with this current administration with all of the stuff with China and moving production to here and all of that, right? So that there's some type of relationship there, and this current administration has a relationship with Intel and they have a relationship with NVIDIA. Do you ever think that swayed the, It
I'm
came to
sure
mind. I mean,
couldn't.
you know,
I'm just thinking, well, what's AMD? AMD's like, where's my
yeah.
chunk of change? You know.
I
Um,
think, but the big thing, at least for us in the desktop space, is my biggest question is where does this leave Arc graphics, right?
right, right.
And not only discrete, but also Arc graphics on the
Integrated.
on chip. You know,
Exactly. And that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like there's still probably a market for that, right? NVIDIA doesn't have to go all the way down to that lowest rung on the ladder. They can be like, all right, here's like a mid-range option that they
but
can
yeah, but
walk
like, what
around.
are you going to fit on chip that's going
Yeah, I
to,
don't know.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you don't, and again, where does this leave NVIDIA with their desktop chip we've been hearing about for a couple of years that still hasn't come out? You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
it is an interesting thing. But I mean, it's good for Intel. Their stock went up.
Yep.
And all we've been hearing from Intel essentially has been bad news. So
Yeah,
it's good to
this
have
is a
this. And again, they're competing companies in the different sectors. So it's interesting to see them come together. And maybe maybe it was just like Intel's like, yeah, like your graphics technology is better. We'll work with you. And NVIDIA was like, okay, maybe we can license some of your CPU technology to maybe make our CPU or do
yeah.
or something. Or I don't know. I mean, it's just
Yeah, they're not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
know, unless they thought Intel's really in that bad a shape and they
And
don't want them going under and AMD like
you
growing.
also like, I don't know how much foundry business Intel still does, but that could be part of it as well.
Yeah,
I don't
getting
know.
access to some of those.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is, like I said, it's an interesting thing. It would, like I said, it would be pretty cool to see what consumer products come out of it. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the AI sector and everything with them working
Yep.
together as well. But for us, yeah, it would be nice to see what like a laptop, you know, CPU with NVIDIA graphics on there, you know. Old man in the chat said, he said, I thought it was possibly because NVIDIA was afraid of being broken up if they got too big. Yeah.
Could be.
So this shows that they're encouraging some competition. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just an interesting move. And it kind of, at least for me, was like, wait, what? Like it just, you know.
I know. I was like, that news came out. It was last Thursday or Friday.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
just
like right. Yeah,
it was after a podcast, right? And I was just waiting for like I was gonna message you about it, but I was like, oh, he's probably still asleep.
yeah,
Just wait.
yeah.
And then you actually hit me up first that morning. And I was like, oh, well, what about this too?
Yeah, so it's pretty, like I said, pretty interesting story. We'll see where that goes and see how long till we see something like that as well.
Yeah.
And if there's any,
Well, it sounds like they've been working on it for a while now.
Yeah,
Like,
don't know.
who knows?
Yeah, but like I said, I would really like to see a SoC or again like an Intel chip with NVIDIA based graphics and giving you, if it's possible, that sort of mid-range performance where if you could get 1080p gaming in a AAA title with just a chip in a laptop that doesn't overheat, be perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. So pretty interesting, I think there. AMD put out a Radeon RX 7700. Quietly, they just put it up on the website. Very quiet. No real announcement or anything like that. So it's a non-XT. The XT was already out. And this one's kind of interesting because if you look at the specs, the RX 7700 XT had 12 gigabytes of GDDR6. The RX 7700 has 16 gigabytes. So that's kind of interesting. You can see it's cut down and everything like that. Only 40 compute units in this. But this is essentially made for OEMs. We talked about, like, again, Intel and AMD coming out with those CPUs essentially for like low end
refreshes of old gear.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the same thing, but it's giving you that 16 gigs. But I don't expect anybody to be buying this like on the consumer side or on the like enthusiast gamer side, right? This is mainly for OEMs, but it's out there. So there's an RX 7700.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, nothing. But it's interesting to see these like sort of little refreshes come out of older products, right?
I'm sure there's market for it. So
yeah, for sure. Talking about Radeon cards, if you have a Radeon RX 9070,
why not have an XT?
Yeah, you can flash it with an XT BIOS. And we saw this for like the 1900 XTs way back in the day. You could do this, and apparently you can do it with the 9070. So it can get up to a 25% performance gain. Somebody tested it in 3D Mark Steel Nomad. So in Steel Nomad, this was the original score, 5,821. Just doing the mod, the BIOS mod to the XT would get you up to 6,461. And then doing some more optimizations goes all the way up to 7,277 in 3D Mark Steel Nomad. That's about a 25% performance gain. Yeah. Real world performance, probably like in a game, would be like 8 to 12%, But
I mean, this is like a pretty easy process. So like,
yeah. Now you can
screw it up.
Let's preface this by saying you can totally brick your card if you don't do it right, or like something happens. But the process for even a beginner, if you follow instructions, flashing a BIOS is good. And a lot of these cards do have dual BIOS. So if you do break it, you have another BIOS at least.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, pretty cool. I like stuff like this. I think it's super cool.
It feels like a blast from the past, right? When these things, because they've locked this feature down.
Well, talking about blast, so we'll go to another story with it. It is very much a blast from the past. Yeah. The first, would you consider this like the first real 3D graphics card? I guess was the 3DX Voodoo, or was it like the GeForce MX? I don't remember.
I mean, I wasn't. They're both very early.
Yeah. So somebody modded an original 3DFX Voodoo graphics card. So like, here's an original, here's the modded one. And they go in detail how the mod works and everything. It's really, really cool. And how they added everything. But I mean, pretty nice mod where like you get more performance. So it's like a VRAM mod and some other things. So like in Quake, you went from 36 FPS to 57 FPS. In Quake 2, you went from 26 FPS to 38 FPS. In Unreal, you went from 20 FPS to 32.2 FPS. And then Unreal Tournament 99, you went from 26 FPS to 36.8 FPS. We have the full video in the article if you want to check it out. I love stuff like this, like taking old hardware and then doing mods that are like now able to do, because all of the data, like all of the stuff that was like not publicly accessible as far as like how the graphics cards were made and the information, like how this stuff would work, is now available. And then people can mod them. Pretty cool. I think it's definitely cool. Even like adding like DVI support on
I know I saw that, and it looks like, is there an HDMI port on there too at the top?
Yeah, I think they added that as well. So it's like, it's cool. Pretty cool for an older graphics card. But yeah, check out the video. Super cool, super interesting. So yeah, definitely check that out. I think that's really, really cool. But then talking about, this is almost sort of like a mod too, but like something that we could possibly see in the future. So Asus has, Asus was one of the first to do the power delivery through the motherboard for your graphics card. So that's their BTF, which you can put 600 watts through that little connector. Yep. Now they're working on something where you can put 250 watts through the normal PCI Express slot.
Whew.
And for those who don't know, the PCI Express slot on your motherboard will do 75 watts. Yeah. So going up to 250 is a big increase.
That's a big jump.
And it looks like they're adding like something to the cards, you know, the connectors there. So they would add the pieces here to the card, and then they would add pieces into the actual slot. And I like this. This is just less cable mess. And again, like BTF is great, but BTF is probably a lot more expensive than this. And like for cards that are like 200 watts, cards that are even like 150 watts, it would just be nice to not have no need for the connector. Yeah, it would clean it up a lot. So we could see this in the future as a standard if Asus is going to share it, or this would be like an Asus specific thing, much like BTF, and like your Asus Prime 50, 60, or whatever would be, I don't even know what they would call this, but like it would be the no cable,
the prime power,
or whatever it is,
whatever they call it.
Yeah, would be this. So I like it. I like that Asus is continually innovating and giving us different, you know, we're used to the same thing forever, right? Things barely ever change as far as like motherboard layouts and how power is delivered. That maybe the connectors change, but it's kind of the same. So again, bringing the power through the board, cleaning things up. And again, especially for those like systems, you know, because a lot of times if you, I don't even know how it is. Like sometimes when you order like a gaming PC, it's the graphics card it's in the slot, but the power is not connected because they don't want that cable to
hang in there,
or get messed up during shipping. So you do have to plug it in. So like as far as like a ease of use for like a first time person, just having the card in the slot, you won't have to connect anything would be a good thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. It'd be kind of
that's a lot of power to run through those little fingers, you know.
We talked.
I know we always say it. I know.
Yeah. I mean, I thought 600 watt, but I mean the BTF connector is a little bit different.
It's a little bigger, right?
Yeah, but like just adding. It looks like, I mean, if we look at
five contacts, maybe
or two or three contacts, and then whatever's on the right there. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, adding whatever that does. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, we talk about this now. And we talked about BTF when we were like, that's just the thing. Like they're not going to come out with it. And then like
it's here.
2 years later, we have full BTF and not just from Asus. We have, you know, from other brands as well. So it's, we'll see what happens with this. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. So Ryan, you save up some money. You're super excited. You're like, I'm finally upgrading my graphics card.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going with a 5080. You spend $1,000 on it, right? You're pumped. You're like, you get it. You get the box. Sad. You get the box. You go outside. You bring it in. You know, you're ready to open this thing up, and you open it up.
5080 is a heavy card too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you open it up, only to find this. This is what you find: an actual brick.
Ugh. That's so sad. Like,
yeah. How does that even happen?
I mean, it's obviously a return, right? But
or did this happen at like you know what happened in the
chain?
What brand was it? A Zotac?
Oh, Zotac, wasn't it?
Yeah, and like maybe it happened at the factory.
Well, I'm not saying at the factory necessarily. That would really suck.
I mean, maybe there's,
or maybe it's along the way, right? Like a delivery,
delivery distribution. But some people were saying that like it could be at the factory where there's like a bunch of these cards.
I mean, I wonder, did it have like the plastic wrap sealed up? You know what I mean?
I mean, it looks like it was open right there, but
but I mean, like the external box.
I don't know.
Plastic. As well.
But this was this was a PNY 5080. Yeah, that's man. I believe this guy got refunded. I'm almost pretty sure.
I hope so.
That he got refunded.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Set me a break. The foundation.
This is the best comment. Somebody on Reddit commented the foundation edition.
That's pretty good.
And then actual brick. Yeah. The 5080 BC.
The bricks.
Yeah, the comments are great on Reddit, but I'm pretty sure this person got refunded. But it is interesting when as these graphics cards get more and more expensive, you know, you're gonna these scams or these things just continue to happen, right?
Yeah, the trade-off of getting caught versus the profit becomes more, I guess, enticing.
Yeah,
to some people.
So yeah, so interesting story. Hopefully, it's not a widespread thing with like PNY cards. Whether it happened maybe from the factory in transit, and like, you know, the Zotac thing was like multiple cards, I believe, were messed up. So hopefully, if you're ordering a PNY card, you don't get a brick. That would just not be good. Okay. So, you know, you've had computers for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember the turbo button?
Oh, 100%.
What did the turbo button do on the, like, when it was like on the old school PCs?
I mean, I feel like we had one that I got from like my mom had, like, was able to buy it from work, like back in the day, you know, and it had a button, and I feel like at the time it was like it'd take it from like 133 megahertz to 166 or something.
Yeah, it was like an overclock. This is what it used to look like right here, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
And
it's like, why would you ever leave the turbo button off? Also,
yeah, it was just like an easy overclock or something like that, right? And like, this is what the old school towers used to look like.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let me see if I can. Old PC tower.
That.
Yeah, so like they kind of look.
Box.
Yeah, they kind of look like this, right? This is, and everybody remembers this. You know, this is what PCs originally looked like. Well, you know, we're all getting to that age, and retro is definitely back. So Silverstone, who came out with that other retro case, has a new one. This is the FLP02. Has a really cool power button, which is actually like a switch. It has the old school lock key as well. Has a functioning turbo button and a little display here as well. Pretty cool. Like, I think it looks pretty cool.
Adjust the fan speed.
Yeah, so the turbo button turns the fans to 100%. It has a lock button, which I think just makes it so you can't turn it off, or can't turn it on, I mean. Yeah. And then
those fake floppy.
Yeah, fake
drives.
floppy.
One of them's a cover for the USB ports.
Yeah, so these are all fake drives. And then internally, it's like a sort of almost like a very much like a modern PC case, which I love. Yeah.
It's just that off-white color, you know.
Yeah, it's like the. Yeah.
No, it's cool. I like it.
Old man in the chat said you had to leave the turbo button off sometimes because some games would run too fast. The frame rate was tied to the CPU clock speed. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, this is pretty cool. And like I said, Ryan said you have the USB ports right there at the top. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. I'm a fan. If you were doing, and this would be like perfect for like that sleeper build, right? You put a 5090 in this, and it's all modern, because like a lot of those sleeper builds in like old cases that essentially have to be modded to fit.
They don't have USB ports.
You have to do all that. This has all modern connectivity, modern cooling, and like availability of cooling. This looks like this would at least support probably, if you, maybe a 360 in the top. As far as cooling goes, so you could do an AIO if this piece, I believe this piece can be removed, so you can put that up in there. But yeah, pretty cool. I like it for sure. So I don't know, 220. That's expensive.
Seems a little high. Yeah, especially no.
But if this is all metal,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's probably pretty sturdy. I bet.
CPU support bracket. Yeah, 220 does seem slightly high, but pretty cool. I think it's cool. Bringing the retro back, which is kind of awesome. Corsair launched 2 new products. I think you'll be interested in one of them, right?
For sure. I am.
So they first launched their Frame 4500X case, and this has a panoramic window on the front, and it's a single piece. So it has the folded glass,
Right.
which is so scary when you remove it. I reviewed an MSI case that had the same thing, and like when you take it off, you're like, it's a big piece of glass. So you're just very like taking off a normal side panel is fine for me. Like I don't have, but like taking off a big curved panel, you're like,
Right.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. So both black and white, and you can see that curved panel right there, which essentially gives you, full on display into your system. You can see you can do 360 top, 360 side mounts, and then probably a 120, 140 in the back. Lots of airflow in the back too, and they kind of have this height-esque kind of design here on the top and the side of the case where the cooling goes, which is a change for Corsair, and I kind of like it because I mean you're used to seeing the same kind of design as far as their ventilation, so this is a change, and I kind of like it. Just something different, and then you can see the internals here of the case. What do you think of this one?
That's not bad. We're seeing like all these little tweaks and variations of the 011 dynamic type case, right? Because that's what this really reminds me of still. Just that layout with the side panel case fans and everything. But yeah, companies are doing stuff a little different. The curved glass is kind of cool. Yeah, I like it. I can't think of the last time I even had a Corsair case though, right? Like back in the day, I used to have a bunch. And I don't know.
They don't have pricing yet. I don't know how much this is going to be. But yeah, so they have one just with ARGB fans that you just plug into your header, and then they have one, the IQ Link, which probably comes with a controller as well, but no word on pricing on these. So yeah, pretty cool. And again, both black and white versions. So that was the first product.
Sweet.
The second product, I think Ryan would be super interested in.
Sweet.
Yeah. So Corsair also launched a new mouse. So this is their Saber V2, and it is a staggering 36 grams. So it's a 36-gram mouse, super, super lightweight, 33,000 DPI, one of the lightest gaming mice out there, $100, black and white version, no holes or anything like that in it. It's a solid piece. And like very clean layout too.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw the news.
Now Ryan will put the grips on it. He'll put the grips
on the sides.
Yeah,
just on the sides.
It will be more than 36 grams once he puts the grips on it. But yeah, well, maybe we'll have to get you this to review because
sure.
Yeah, okay, so you can do up to 8,000 hertz polling rate on this as well. So $100 isn't bad for that. So yeah, I like it. I like that we're getting super lightweight, but also a solid design, right? Without like mice without all the holes in it too.
Right.
Old man said the Corsair Frame 4500X that we were just talking about is $189.99. So I don't think that's a horrible price for the case. And that's the ARGB. So that's not the
IQ Link. Yeah.
The IQ Link's probably like $229.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
And then we have Ginji in the chat says, yo, the Apex Pro Mini, good. I got it today. Yeah, that's one of the first magnetic switch keyboards. Yes, and it's still solid. You can change all of your actuation points. You can really fine tune it. Like if you're somebody who's going to be spending a lot of time with that keyboard, gaming, typing, whatever it is, you can change all the actuation points. That's how far down you can press till it actually actuates the switch. And if you're somebody who like really wants to fine tune that, it is a great keyboard. For sure. And the SteelSeries software, at least when I reviewed that, which was like almost 2 years ago now, is one of the best software for keyboards as well. So
we were wrong. 259.
Ooh, 259. But yeah, because you're going to get that controller, and that's a multi-port controller, so you can add more IQ Link things to it. So like if you wanted to stay in that Corsair ecosystem with your AIO, your AIO just plugs right into that, and
yeah,
I get, you know, it's there. You got to stay in the ecosystem.
The Corsair tax.
Yeah, the Corsair tax. But two pretty cool products from Corsair. Let's see if we can get Ryan that mouse there into review. Now, I didn't even know this was a thing. Had you ever heard of Windows Dream Scene at all?
No, I don't think so. If I had, I'd forgotten it because it was 19 years ago.
Yeah, apparently this was a thing 19 years ago. Now, I have, what is that thing called? I have it on, is it wallpaper?
It's just video wallpaper, right?
Yeah, so I have like Wallpaper Engine, and I've used that for a very long time. Which
I have it, I never use it.
Changes your wallpaper. It can be animation. It can look really cool. Like, you know, so if somebody comes in your office or wherever you have your computer, it looks like something cool is going on your screen. Well, apparently Windows is, I guess, adding this back because I don't remember it 19 years ago when it was in Windows. But they're bringing what they're calling Dream Scene back, which is a native video wallpaper, and you can select your own video, and it's just essentially going to run on a loop. I don't know if there's a limitation as far as size, as far as length, or how it's going to work, or anything like that. But somebody showed it working. Which, if you watch this, they just select a video, and then that's the animation that just consistently runs in the background. This is really cool, and it would be really nice to like have a place, just like with Wallpaper Engine, very much the same thing, to like have ones that you could download or have available, or have
a gallery of them,
galleries, or have somebody, you know, like we have wallpaper websites, like have a, you know, Dream Scene website where you can download.
Such a thing back in the day, like
the
wallpaper websites. Like,
yeah, I still use them. That's how I find some wallpapers. You know.
It always seems cool to me, and then I'm like, but I'm never looking at just my wallpaper.
Well, the reason I always pick a really good wallpaper is because if you guys watch our YouTube videos,
right, it makes sense in that instance.
I have this screen that I'm looking at now, which is like a 49-inch ultra wide. That's in the background of all the videos, so I want a really cool wallpaper.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
But I turn my monitor off when I walk away because I have an OLED and I don't want to get burned.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, pretty cool. This is in a dev or beta build right now. You can enable it if you're part of like the Insider
Fast Track
or whatever it is. I don't know when they'll be adding this to like an official Windows release, but you can get it if you really want to. But pretty cool. I'm all about it. I'm like, if you're into customization and you're somebody who's already probably running Wallpaper Engine, you might like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It might, resource wise, it may not take as many if it's built into the OS, right?
Yeah. Because sometimes Wallpaper Engine will like kill your GPU. Like it's just your computer's humming sometimes.
I've got it on Steam.
Engine. Yeah. Somebody asked, Ginji asked, by the way, what's a recommended mouse for the Pro? I should get like a Super Light Pro X or G Pro 2 or something that's like the V3 Super Light. What's the?
I think you have to. We talk about it a bit every now and then. Is like if you've got a Micro Center or a Best Buy around you to get a feel for that mouse as well.
Yeah,
like, shape can be really important. That's one of the things I like. The ability to feel a mouse or
like use it. Like we always say, like if you're an Amazon buyer and you have the 30-day free return. Get a mouse, get a feel for it. I always go back and forth on mice. I'm using the Death Adder V3 Pro, which is more of like a wider mouse. What are you using right now, Ryan?
I have the HyperX Pulsefire Haste 2 wireless.
Yeah, you show us? What does it look like?
Sure.
And how many grams is that?
I feel like it's low 50s.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much choice now, but like the big brands, you kind of know you have like the Razer, the Logitech, and then probably Corsair would be like the big brands. But yeah, you just the biggest thing would be like either buy one that has where you can get a return window where there's no cost of a restocking fee, and then use it for a while and see if you actually like it. Because like I've gotten some mice into review, and then like I use it for a week and I'm like, I'm done with this thing. Like I don't like this thing at all.
This review's over. Yeah.
Asus has some really nice lightweight mice as well. And their wireless tech is some of the best out there too, where you're not going to get any like latency and things like that. I would just do that. I think that would be like your best bet, for deciding which mouse is good for you. Because you don't want to buy a mouse, maybe spend $150 if you're going wireless, super light, and then
not like
it. You don't like it, and then you can't return it or something like that. So either go into the store or buy one where you get a good return window. I think that's what I would do. So Old Man says he uses Wallpaper Engine on Steam. Yeah, that's where you can get Wallpaper Engine. It's free. I believe it's free, right? I'm pretty sure it's free. On Steam, if you guys want to play with that too. It's really cool, actually. There's a lot of really cool ones that you can search up and do all that. But yeah, definitely check that out if you are interested. And then finally, this was an interesting story. The Qualcomm Snapdragon Summit, which is going on right now. I actually have some friends that are there in Hawaii. So that shout out to you guys who are in Hawaii. But Google and Qualcomm have been working on Android for PC. How do you feel about like Android running on you're an Android user? Like,
yeah. Well, I feel like, didn't we just talk about this a while back where it was like, I wanted that ability to plug my phone into something, and get it to like pop up. I don't know. I've loaded like Chrome OS on old laptops.
This is interesting because like Google does have Chrome OS, and they have, and there are
Android for PC.
There are a ton of Chromebooks, right?
Yeah.
So like, what's the benefit of having an Android-based PC?
I don't know.
Is the operating system better than Chrome OS, or like?
Right,
I guess it would have more functionality, right? Because there's not like there's not third-party apps for Chrome. I don't know anything about Chrome.
I mean, my kids use them, but I don't ever use them. They're school stuff, so I don't ever have to.
Because I don't think there's any like third-party apps for Chrome OS.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's all just Google apps, and then I don't know.
But I mean, just say if that's the case.
Sure.
If anybody knows, let us know if I'm wrong. Maybe I used a Chromebook one time. I don't remember it. That was a long time ago. But so instead of we have the Chromebook, which is probably the lowest rung of a laptop. Maybe you can get a Chromebook for a couple $100, right?
Yeah.
Low rung. The next highest thing would be like a low-end laptop that's running Windows. We're not going to talk about Linux because, would be like a Windows-based laptop for like $450, $500, right? So maybe in between there's this Android-based laptop that gives you a little bit more functionality than the Chromebook because you have all the Android apps that can run on it.
Yeah, and I think leaving the name Android also is going to be like a tough sell price-wise too, because if people are like, well, I'm not spending $1,200 on a Android device.
Well, I can't imagine it's going to be that expensive. Like I would say,
I don't either.
$300 to $500 for the laptop.
Right. That's what I'm saying is like with that naming scheme, right? It makes sense exactly what you're saying to be in that performance and price point.
And again, like maybe it's like very easy to sync everything between, like if you're an Android user, you can sync everything just like an iPad is very, you can do that with like your iPhone and your iPad. Maybe this is kind of like what they're possibly, I don't know. It is interesting. I mean, again, if they can have a price point just for these PCs where it makes sense, right? It has to make sense over a Chromebook, but not enough where you would get like a low-end Windows-based laptop
instead, right?
Yeah. So this is interesting. I don't know where, Yeah, I don't know where it would.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe they're building it out for like this generation of kids that are going through school now, right? Because my son's had his Chromebook since last year. And I think he'll keep this one through like 8th grade, and then he'll get a new one for his freshman year. And so
okay.
like maybe it's something that they're like, they've been working on, and they've had these kids in that ecosphere for quite a while. Maybe this is like a step up for afterwards, right? That next purchase out of school. I don't. Who knows?
Or maybe like, I'm sure Google talks to like schools and stuff, and they're like, hey, like we like Chrome OS, but like we want access to like maybe this learning platform on
Right. More. They could do more with it.
Yeah, or something, because like we can't do everything, and then we have to eventually upgrade them to like Windows PCs at a certain age, or maybe that's part of it as well.
Yeah.
But an interesting story. I mean, interesting. Yeah, we'll see if anything comes of that. Probably in a while. Probably won't be for a while, but we'll see what happens. But I would guess like low cost machine somewhere in the Chromebook sphere, around there somewhere, right? Yeah. So that is it for news for the week. Talking about what we have coming up next week. Let me see if I can pull this up without disconnecting it. I'll be taking a look at this keyboard right here. It's a Be Quiet dark mount. And I'm not going to type because maybe I'll close the stream when I start typing. But it has incredibly silent switches. Nice. And this is a really interesting story, because the reason, if you think about Be Quiet, and we'll talk about this next week when we have the review out, but Be Quiet is known for power supplies and coolers. So it's weird for them to come out with
peripheral like that
keyboard, but they acquired a company, and again, we'll talk about it next week. But just like their name, this is one of the most silent mechanical keyboards that I've used. Super silent, has a bunch of other really cool features and things like that. So we will talk about that next week. So really excited to tell you guys all about that one. And yeah, as we come to the end, we're talking about keyboards. Our question of the week is, what type of keyboard switches do you use, or do you prefer? And like, not just the actual switch, but like, do you like loud, like clacky sound? Do you like, I don't know. I'm kind of digging this silent switch now that I'm using it, because I haven't used a silent keyboard in a while.
So loud.
Yeah. So Ryan, what do you prefer? Like, what's your preferred sound, and what's your preferred switch type?
So usually, okay, so for gaming, and like my main keyboard here is just a cherry red, right? A linear switch. I'm not opposed to like other styles of linears like browns. But yeah, a linear. But for typing, I like low profile, not linear, but
tactile switch.
Yeah, thanks. To get that feel. So those are my two. But yeah, linear is usually like, if I have to just like have one keyboard and for everything, I'm gonna want a linear switch, probably like a MX Red or a very similar switch.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I like a clacky keyboard.
You like the blues.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't been.
Yes, you do.
I've liked some purple switches. And for gaming, I mean, I absolutely love a speed switch for gaming.
I can't.
And like not a mechanical keyboard, but a
Hall effect or something.
Yeah, Hall effect keyboard for like, it's just so fast, and like you can, like, how we did that thing where the different refresh rates and you can like tell a difference. Like, if you're using a Hall effect keyboard, you can tell the difference. Like, you really can.
I need to get one then.
Yeah. So I really like that for gaming, but overall I do really like I said, a clacky keyboard. Typically I was a fan of blues for a while. The greens were really good too. I did like the greens. Yeah. There's so many switches now. That's the crazy thing.
You can't. Yeah. There's every shade of rainbow.
There's so many switches and so many different brands out there now. It's not like you can just choose one. And I think the best combo is a keyboard that not only feels good, but then sounds good. Because I've had keyboards that feel so good, but then the sound is just super
Drives you
annoying.
nuts, yeah.
Or like the keyboard's not built well with good sound dampening. And then Ryan and I both have had experiences where like keys ping off the casing and it's super annoying. So I think you have to find like, you'll find that just that good medium of really feels good and sounds good, and then you'll just be sold. Whatever that keyboard is for you. What was that keyboard that I reviewed? It was like $50, and it was like really good for $50.
Yeah.
And our friend Old Man in the chat, he always has good keyboard deals too. So I'm sure he says that he likes linear switches, mostly reds and yellows. Right now I like Epo Maker's Zebra linear switches. Yeah, and that's a cool thing. And he buys a lot of keyboards. It's great to be able to, just like we were talking about with the mouse, it's great to be able to try different keyboards. So again, if you can go into the store, type on the keyboard, get an idea of the sound, press really hard on the keys to see if there is any pinging or anything like that. And again, if you're like a Amazon Prime member or something like that, and you can get a return window, use the keyboard, use it aggressively to see if you like it or not. But yeah, I think there's so many good options now. We used to there'd be like a couple like really good keyboards, and now you can find keyboards for under $50 that are good.
Oh yeah, 25 even sometimes for a 65%er.
There's so many good keyboards out there now. So just try what you can, and then like I said, this Be Quiet that I'm testing right now, I really like the silent. It's just something about it. It's just a little different. So yeah. Coming to the end here, we always talk about any new tech, anything that you've been checking out. You want to tell us why you're not lagging, I guess?
I'm usually never lagging anyways. But yeah, so when did I get my 2.5 gig internet? In the spring, maybe?
Yeah,
so
I think
I updated the fiber, right? And so I have a Ubiquiti Dream Machine Pro as my firewall and router. And it supports, 10 gig via the SFP modules. And my PC here has a 2.5 gig connection on it, but I didn't have enough ports, or I guess I could have put in like an SFP module. Anyways, I got a switch that supports some more 2.5 gig connectivity. And so I've got, it's another Ubiquiti switch. I got a ProMax 16 with the cool ether lighting. I don't know if you've seen that before, but
I've not.
The ports, they have RGB lighting. And
I have seen this. I saw this on Instagram.
Yeah, they'll glow the colors and everything.
You have to send me a video whenever you're.
Yeah, and when it was booting up, it's like going.
Yeah, you have to send me a video or something.
That's cool. So yeah, right now I'm connected to 2.5 gig connectivity all the way out to the internet. So
nice.
Super excited about that. And I have to get a longer cable though. I got a 15-foot Cat 8 cable, braided one. Just I don't know. Because I was fancy. 15 is just not enough for where I need it. I thought it was going to be. So I ordered a 25-footer and it'll be here tomorrow. So
it's so funny when you so I've moved a decent amount over the past past like 5 years. And like you go to a place and they're like, oh yeah, just like get the Wi-Fi. I'm like, no, I want to be plugged in. They don't understand that. I remember back in Pittsburgh when I moved into the townhouse, the Comcast was there and the internet the cable and the internet was run into down like the main living room, but I was up on the 3rd floor and I told Comcast, I said, I want you to drill through the wall and give me a connection
up there. Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy's like, why? I'm like, that's where I want the internet. He's like, you can do Wi-Fi. I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand.
I understand that. That's not what I want.
He's like, you're going to have to pay for that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'll pay for it. Go through the wall and give me It was really, really funny. So yeah. But yeah, being plugged in is the way to go. I'm actually doing 10 gig into my
your switch
into my switch. Yeah.
So then, tonight, like before the podcast, I ordered that 25-foot cable, and then I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and order some more cables so that I'm just gonna do some teaming on my Synology NAS, get those all connected. So I got 4 gig to the NAS, and then
Yeah, there you
got
go.
even faster. So
Yeah.
oh man,
then
he's got one for us.
he has a keyboard deal here. So the R87 wireless mechanical keyboard, hot swappable, tri-mode is $27.
Is this the Royal Clutch?
Is it $27?
This is.
Let's see. Old Man always has good deals. So if you guys always watch a podcast and Old Man's in here, he usually always gives us a keyboard deal. I see one for $64.99. Is it a specific colorway?
He always has the price, and then we can't ever find it right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Royal Clutch. Royal Axe.
Okay, I know Royal Axe. I actually reviewed one of their keyboards.
Yeah, I have a Royal Clutch keyboard.
Yeah. But in any case, that's a great price on a keyboard as well. So
right, hot
swappable.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's crazy how cheap these the keyboards have got over time for sure. Yeah, $27 with the coupon. So, like I said, I remember when we used to talk about oh yeah, mechanical keyboard, they're like $100, when everybody was coming out with them, and now you can get a solid keyboard that's a lot of times better than the big name brand too, right? For like I said, 37, 27, under 50. So
no, I'm not a fan of that color scheme, the red and the gray. That's the one that's cheap. They have a purple and green one, but it's more.
But in any case, we are going to be doing some gaming time. So we're going to be over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. Ryan, of course, runs that stream until Battlefield comes out. We're playing some Apex. So we play some Apex Legends. Definitely, if you want to continue to hang out with us, that's where we are going to be. And thanks everybody for coming out. Of course, Old Man in the chat, Ginji in the chat, and we had KC in the chat as well. So shout out to you guys, and we will see everybody next week.